Hi, my name is Sejin Peck, and I am in Mr. Brightman's 9G class. For the past classes, I have been assigned to research and learn the cause, course, and consequence of the American Revolution. Now that I have a clear idea of American Revolution, I decided to take a look at some other countries' revolution as well. I chose to compare Brazil Revolution along with American Revolution. Quote, any law which violates the inalienable rights of man is essentially unjust and tyrannical. It is not a law at all. Any institution which does not suppose the people good and the magistrate corruptible is evil. These are two quotes from the era of French Revolution by Maximilien Robespierre in 1758 through 1794. By looking at these quotes, even though it was written in the French Revolution, if we broadly look at most of the revolutions in our history, they all conclude in the same conclusion. In some shape or form, these country citizens had not liked how the government or their status had been going, and so became a rebel and revolt to change their nation. Not only if they liked it or not, the laws or rules that had been made toward them could have been unfair and irrelevant. One of the biggest points of these revolutions I can address is monarchy. So let's think about monarchy when we start going into these two revolutions now. The basic cause of Brazil was that citizens were restricted to trade, with foreigners especially, against all the crops and goods that they had made in Spain. Not only that, they were forced to pay a big amount of tax. This had given such a hard time on the citizens, and finally they wanted independence from Portugal to be an own country. Again, this was shown that being controlled over Europe, this was shown that Brazil at this time had monarchy. Wow, after I heard the two causes, I could see a big similarity between America. America was also being controlled over Europe, and they had huge amount of worthless taxing to pay. Some differences, however, were that in Brazil, their revolution had no blood. In other words, they didn't have a big war or a reign of terror. The reason for that was because Portugal didn't have the power to fight a war with Brazil. By the way, this was when Napoleon invaded to Portugal. In the American Revolution, there was the Boston Tea Party, Trenton War, Saratoga War, and the Yorktown War, maybe even more. Three distinctive reasons why American Revolution was able to carry on and take over was because of the citizens' patriotism, Enlightenment ideas, and the loss of land and money for England. From these three, the one that's the same with Brazil Revolution would be Enlightenment. Even from the start of Brazil Enlightenment, another cause was the emerging of the Enlightenment. We can see how much Enlightenment had affected so much in history as well. America, after the Revolutionary War, was a republic, not a monarchy anymore. It was a centralized state, but a federation which is considered as the world's first democratic republic federation. Similar with Brazil, they became an independent country and gained freedom amongst themselves. They had been fighting for their stop of monarchy, and they did. Now, putting both of these revolutions into the anatomy of revolution, I think they resulted in them, like what the anatomy of revolution was meaning. First of all, when the idea of the revolution changed in Brazil and America, it also changed the leaders. In America, it would be George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, etc. Also, the original goals of the country's reasons for starting a revolution had been achieved. For America, it happened right away, but for Brazil, even though it did happen, similar to the French Revolution, it took a bit of time. Even though the monarchy disappeared at first, there was still some dictatorship going on. So these are some facts that I think these two revolutions fit in the anatomy of revolution. I know now that having only a knowledge of one revolution would not have made me come this far to learn more. After studying the French, American, and Brazilian Revolution, I can definitely get a grip of why revolutions took place and how much they had affected each country. Moreover, these revolutions were like dominoes, where one started and the other started to begin as well. Even though the process of revolution could be messy, if the results come out well, then we can see how much this has given history a strong and meaningful lesson. Even till now, countries can look at our past and know what right choices we can make to make our world stable and agreeable. I think that for both America and Brazil, having this period of revolution was one of their biggest cut points of their history, and made their nations come this far. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.